Wherever you are on the planet, I love you. Hey, y'all. Hi. We're getting started in 1 minute. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. All right, 1 minute. If you know anything about me, I don't play with time. So we're going to start soon. All right? Twerk it because you can. Hey, y'all. All right. 20 seconds. Hey, 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 hey. Hi. Thank you for joining us. All right. Listen, I can sit here and wave at you all day. Happy Saturday, y'all. I hope wherever you are on the planet, you are giving yourself room to be abundant. Hey, Rachel, to love on yourself and to allow yourself to be authentic, no matter what's happening around you, okay? So yay, happy June for those who I haven't seen. And I am introducing a summer series, okay? So it's called Summer Lovin, okay? And it's an abundant series exploring how the light can give us access to ourselves by trusting ourselves enough to take a deep dive and a very intentional look at our process, at who we are, at who we were, and our choices. And not only exploring the light, but let's look at the dark. Let's also look at the shadow, because all of it gives us access to information. All of it teaches us a lot about who we are, and it's all a part of us. The light, the dark, and the shadow is all a part of who we are, okay? So thank you so much for having the courage to reflect and to look within. So if you know me, I love a good definition. So we are going to start with like breaking down some definitions of these words, and possibly maybe getting some new information and some new definitions to words that we've been using all the time that also gives us room and access to other things, okay? All right, good. And also talk to me. I'm an only child, all right? So talk to me. If you have things that come up for you, if you have any insight, it is welcomed here, okay? Great. So let's start. We're going to break down definitions for light, break down definitions for dark, and then break down the definition for shadow. Okay? If you have any personal definitions, please share them with me. Okay? So let's start with light. So what I have here is understanding of a problem or a mystery, enlightenment, a source of illumination. I'll say it again. So this is the definition of light. Understanding of a problem or mystery. So I like that, like shedding light onto something. New information, light bulb. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I know it now. Yeah? Enlightenment, a source of illumination. Okay, so does anything come up for you when you think about that definition? Do you have any of your own personal definitions when it comes to light? I think of how we use the term like, oh, well, when you put light on a situation, or or when you put a light to something that you haven't seen before. Let's take a deep dive. What is your light? What is your source of illumination? What are some of the things that you do that make you feel light, or that you can feel light in the presence? Who are some of your favorite people who make you want to feel light, or who makes you feel light in their presence too? Yeah, these are all things you want to think about. I have a best friend, I call her a light bender, right? Because she gives light out and then it can go this way and that way. So what is your light? Is it showing up? Is it being present? Is it your joy? How do you know that you are experiencing light? Okay, think about that, sit with that. Okay, now let's go to dark. Hidden from knowledge, mysterious, lacking enlightenment, knowledge, or culture, not giving performances. I'll do it again. Hidden from knowledge, mysterious, lacking enlightenment, knowledge, culture, and not giving performances. What I love about the not giving performances is like, this is authentic. It's not about the audience. It's not about who's receiving. It's about what's going on within, right? And it may be the parts of us that are subconsciously, having these different conversations. Think about like self-talk. Are you having negative self-talk? Or when things are triggered or things come up, do you find yourself having dark emotions? Do you find yourself engaging in things that you don't know where it comes from or why, but it does? I don't know why A and B shows up when Z is here, but it does. That could be something that's in the dark. Something we haven't brought light to, but is very much a part of our experience, okay? Something to think about as well, okay? So we have our definition for light. We have our definition for dark. Let's think about shadow. What's a shadow? When you think about shadow self, when you think about actually having a shadow, what is it? And what does it take to have a shadow? Okay? Think about that. Let's break down this definition, okay? So for shadow, we have an inseparable attendant or companion, a person secretly following and observing another. We'll do it again. Shadow, an inseparable attendant or companion, a person secretly following and observing another. Yeah, I've never thought about shadow that way. And it's this part of you that what? That you can't get away from. It's inseparable. It's a part of who you are, right? And I love that the shadow shows up when what? When there's light. So there is, light and dark and shadow is a big part of who we are. Yes? I also think about acceptance. There's room for us to accept it and learn about the shadow. So when I think of shadow self, or when people do shadow work, it's us like taking the time to look at the spaces that we may not know that we carry with us, okay? So those are information that can support us with like being with parts of ourselves, okay? It's not always glitter and rainbows, okay? It's not always light beaming through, and that's okay. It's a part of the process, okay? So let's think about it. What does light give you access to? Because the light and the dark and the shadow all give us access to different things, right? They all play a particular role in our process. So what do you think the light gives you access to? We already said it's a part of understanding a problem or a mystery, enlightenment, or a source of illumination. What can it give us access to, right? Think about it. So when I think of new information, maybe things I never knew about myself, like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize that comes up. And sometimes that happens with sharing with other people, allowing people to give you feedback, being in the space with a lot of different folks with all that light can give us access to ourselves, new information to ourselves. I don't know if you know Queen Heather, but one of the things she says is everything you need is on the other side of relationship. Right? So being in relationship with other people can give us access to ourselves. Maybe they have a light that puts light on us. It's room for all of it, okay? And when I think of people who are light workers versus dark workers, it's really light workers are focusing out. Dark workers are focusing inside. When I think about dark workers, I think about if somebody was inside trying to figure it out, it might be a little dark in here because it's inside of the body. So dark workers are usually folks who are working within, focusing in on themselves, not looking to focus out, not looking to give, but to receive and to reflect and to be still. Okay, so let's go, now that we're talking about dark workers, let's talk about what do you think the dark gives us access to? What do you think us allowing ourselves to be in solitude, to be by ourselves, to be where light can't come in? What do you think it gives us access to? When you think about the definition of dark, and it says not giving performances, it's not for anybody else. It's for you. It's for you to be able to tap in of what's going on within you, even if no one else understands it. It's not about them. So when I think of hidden from knowledge, it makes me think of that it's about the heart. It's not about the things that make sense. It's not the things that are rational, but the things that I am feeling, the things that are coming up for me. That's what I'm giving my focus to, right? That's what I'm giving my attention to, okay? So yes, more heart than mind, I would say, focusing on yourself, and then authenticity and rest, hibernation. For me this year, I learned so much about myself by being still. And here I am thinking that all the things that I'm going to get is going to require me to sweat blood and tears. And it required me to be clear about what I wanted. Once I was clear about what I wanted, it gave me room to go get that light. But the dark, being in the dark, even not even knowing how it's going to work out, even not even knowing which way to go, gave me access to myself and what I was made of. I don't know if I would have had all that if I was only looking for the light. If I only trusted the light, would I trust it if it asked me to walk in the dark? Yes. What has the dark taught you about yourself? Those moments when you want to be by yourself, when you are secluded, when you are disconnected intentionally, what has it taught you about you? Has it taught you anything about what you are made of? Has it taught you anything about what are some of the things that you need when you find yourself in the dark? Has it taught you anything about vulnerability? Yeah. So I believe the light and the dark have two different momentums, and they have two different purposes, and they give us access to ourself in different ways. Okay.